We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from wherever you are. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, conscious doing. In summer, when you see the sky crystal clear, enter that clarity. The sky is the screen on which clouds float and becloud the visibility of the clear sky. This happens always. So, in the same way, your mind is the inner sky, and on this inner sky, there are endless thoughts, emotions floating like clouds. So, mind is confusion. There is no clarity. Mind is always crowded, always cloudy, never open sky, cloudless, empty. Mind cannot be that, because that is the nature of the mind. You cannot make your mind clear. It is not the nature of the mind to be so. Mind simply remains unclear always. Emotions keeps on floating. The things, when you interact with objects and beings, the clouds of unclarity comes there. If you leave the mind behind, you can suddenly transcend the mind and you can come out of it. Clarity will happen to you. Mind means conditionings. That your identity crisis. This is why Shankar says, Mano buddhi ankar chittani naham. I am neither the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ego sense, nor the storehouse of the memory. You are memory. You are identity. You are this, you are that, and so. And you are intellect. You cannot say that always you are talking about, I am intelligent. That goes on behind your mind all the time. So, there is not such a thing that you can call clear mind. It has always been. Mind means unclarity, mind means confusion. Try to understand the structure of the mind. Mind has four corners: the storehouse of the memory, the ego sense, identity, intellect, and all these things be cloud. Then identity crisis, how it comes? The breath that comes in, the 5 breaths, the relationships, the parents. So Shankar says, I have no father, no mother. And have you really realized that do you have parents? Khalil Gibran in Prophet says, when Al-Mitra asks the Master, what about children? And the answer comes, children are born through you, not from you. You are the seed, you had the mechanism for children to be born through you. Give them your mind, give them your love. Mind they will have of their own. What we do? We don't give them love, we give them our mind. We give them our conditionings. We give them our identity. Children are born. A child is born as a clear mind, because mind is not there, so you cannot call it mind. The moment mind appears, the unclarity and confusion enters the mind. And the entire crisis that you see, chaos in the world, is because of this unclarity of the mind, conditioning. Child is clear, crystal clear is a clarity, but we have to gather knowledge, information, culture, religion, conditionings. All these are considered necessary and useful. He will have to gather many things to interact in the world of objects and beings in order for his survival. And he has to gather things from everywhere. And he is not discriminate. You have seen the people who collect the garbage. So, mind is a garbage collector. They collect the garbage from everywhere. They sort out, filter the garbage and collect it. From everywhere, from every source, opposite, contradictory sources, whatsoever be the source, we keep on gathering. From thousands and thousands of sources, we gather information. Then mind becomes a garbage bin, a marketplace, a crowd. And because of so many sources, confusion is bound to be there. And whatsoever you gather, nothing is certain, because knowledge is always a growing affair. It is not stationary. It is a constantly growing phenomena. I remember someone narrated an anecdote. He was a great searcher. He told me that about this professor who taught him for years in medical college. The professor was a great scholar of his subject. The last thing he did was to gather his students and tell them, "One thing more I will teach you," he used to say. "Whatsoever I taught you is only 50% correct. Whatsoever I taught you up to now is only 50% correct. And the remaining 50% is absolutely wrong. But the trouble is, I don't know which 50% is correct and which 50% is not. I don't know. This you have to discover." The entire edifice of knowledge is like this. I am sharing with you something. My insights, a faculty how to sort out the garbage. The garbage collector collects the garbage and then sorts out the garbage which can be reused, which cannot be reused. There are sometimes the householder has to sort out the garbage on his own, use the one that is to be recycled separately, as has been mentioned by in certain countries. So the whole edifice of knowledge is such, nothing is certain, no one knows, everyone is groping in darkness, and everyone thinks what he knows is right. Through groping, knowledge should be used as a seed. It has to allow to grow into your fertilized soil. What the master does, he fertilizes your soil so that all that is put into you, it grows into you for your own growth, for your own, as your own fertilizer. Through groping, we create systems, and there are 1,001 systems. Hindus say something, Christians say something else, Muslims still say something else, but all are contradictory to one another. Why should I follow the Hindu tradition? Why should I follow the Muslim tradition? Have you seen something very strange? Hindus do circumambulation during the pilgrimage. Muslims also do circumambulation. Hindus do clockwise circumambulation, Muslims do anti-clockwise. Both of them shave their heads, both of them they go circumambulation bare feet. They use one piece of cloth. Hindus use orange cloth, Muslims use white. So in order that my system is better and different than your system, these are the things why we can't say that the everything is basically same. You are doing circumambulation around your place, you can do it in the same way. The same thing you see in the restaurant. Every restaurant says my recipe, my dishes are better than yours, because everybody has to do their business. So they present their dishes in such a way, the menu card, everything in such a way. So all contradictory, all contradicting each other, no agreement, no certainty. All these sources are, all these sources, they become the nourishing ground, the breeding ground for the mind. You collect. Your mind becomes a labas. Labas is the place where all the garbage is dumped. Sometimes it is used for reclaiming the land. So it is a junkyard, a garbage bin. Confusion is bound to be there. Only a person who does not know how much can be certain. The more you know, the more uncertain you will become. People, primitive people, they know much less and apparently appear to be more clear. You look at the uneducated people, their intelligence is not hijacked by knowledge. They have a very clarity, the older people. They have no knowledge, university degrees, but they have clarity. But in your mind there is no clarity, simply unawareness of the facts which could contradict them. If modern mind is more confused, the reason for that is that modern knows more. If you know more, you will be more confused. You are focusing on all that is infused into it. You are not focusing on your intelligence. If you have intelligence, you will be able to overcome that, understand that. Someone yesterday asked me, say something about curse. Can anything be said on curse spiritually? Do you consider curse as a spiritual? So I said, curse is unconscious exuberance of inner discontent and disharmony. Curse is unconscious exuberance of inner discontent and disharmony. And conscious exuberance is gibberish meditation. And you look at the entire process, how you dispose of your kitchen garbage, how you dispose of your things. Isn't it curse from the kitchen which can cause damage or the infection and all these things? But when it is properly used, it becomes compost manure, fertilizes the tree. So you have to know the intelligence is the faculty that you have to focus on, not accumulation of the knowledge, not accumulation of the words and messages and so. When the only idiots can be certain, only idiots can be dogmatic, only idiots will never hesitate in saying something. The more you know, the more earth has been taken away from under your feet, and the more hesitant you become. When I mean to say is the more mind grows, the more you will know the nature of the mind is confusion. When I say idiots can be certain, I don't mean Buddha is an idiot, because he is not uncertain. Remember the difference. Buddha is not uncertain. I did not say Buddha is certain. Buddha is not uncertain. Remember the difference. He is not certain. He is neither certain nor uncertain. He is simply clear. There is a difference between clarity and being non-certain and being non-uncertain. Buddha is clarity. The sky is clear. There is no clouds floating. On the inner sky is totally clear. There is no clouds of emotional disturbance, exuberance, or anything floating. With mind uncertainty, with idiotic mind certainty, with no mind, both disappears. The certainty and uncertainty disappears because mind disappears. Certainty and uncertainty both disappears in the state of no mind. Buddha is clarity, a space, open space. He is not certain. There is nothing to be certain. He is not uncertain because there is nothing that you can be uncertain about it. Only one who is seeking certainty will be uncertain. Mind is always uncertain, and that's why it is seeking certainty. Mind is always confused, that is searching for a state which is not confused. Always confused and always seeking clarity. Buddha is one who has dropped the mind. Mind is no more, is innocent like a child. That's why Jesus says only those who are childlike can enter the kingdom of my Father. What is childlike? Childlike innocence, no mind. Child is unconscious. Buddha is conscious of his no mind state. With the mind, all confusions, all certainty, all uncertainty, everything is dropped. The moment mind is dropped, you are neither certain nor uncertain. There is no confusion. There is simply clarity. That's why it is said, when in summer there is the sky is clear, crystal clear, enter that clarity. Enter the mind. In that state, when it is, then it is no, not mind, it is no mind. Look at this in this way. Your consciousness is just like a sky. The mind is the clouds on that consciousness. Mind is the cloud that floats on the sky of consciousness. The sky remains untouched by the clouds. They come and go. Thoughts come and go. Emotions come and go. One moment you are loving. The emotions of love arises in you. Next moment they are vanished. So they are like clouds. So this is your mind. One moment there is curse. The one moment you want to curse the person. Next moment you repent. So these are, what else you will call? If not cloud, dark clouds, the colored clouds, the gray clouds. These are the different types of clouds that float in the sky. When the clouds is dark, the whole atmosphere becomes dark. The clarity, the visibility becomes less. So, in the same way, when there are dark clouds floating on your sky of consciousness, then the clarity is lost, the visibility is lost, and you are grouping in dark, driving you need much more focus while driving on the street. You have to turn on the headlights and all the things. When the sky remains untouched of the clouds, they come and go. No scar is left behind. The sky remains virgin. No record is inscribed on it. No footprints. Nothing of the clouds, no memory. That's why a child does not have a memory. But as he grows, memory grows. They come and go. The sky remains undisturbed. Does sky gets affected when the clouds float, when there is a dark cloud? And what you say, if there is a match, cricket match or any other football match is going on, and there are clouds, dark clouds, the floodlights are turned on. And then he said that there is a strong wind, and with this strong wind the cloud will float, vanish, disappear. The sky becomes clear again. So clouds float, emotions float, the inner discontent floats like clouds. Can't you see this as the clouds floating on your inner sky? And do you want to remain affected by it? For a moment you are affected by it. That everybody goes into the pavilion because there is a drizzle, the clouds are dark, the game cannot continue. So what you do? You recede in a solitary space. So when you see the clouds of ignorance, for the cloud to clear. When cloud is clear, you come out of that solitude, that pavilion. That is what happens in cricket match, in any match. When there are clouds gather on the sky, the visibility becomes less, everybody goes in the pavilion. Does it not happen? Can't you apply this into your day-to-day life? Can't you apply this into it? This is what meditation is. This is what awakening is. Awakening is not carrying the burden of your scriptures on your shoulders. No. A Buddha never carries a burden of his scriptures in his hands. He is simply a clarity. So what you do? The moment the clouds gather, all the players go into the pavilion. The pitch is covered. Ground is covered so that nothing affects. The headlights are turned on and the floodlights are turned on. The moment the clouds disperse, vanish, the sky becomes clear, the visibility becomes clear, you come out and the game begins. So in the same way, in the moments when their sky is not clear, the clouds of emotional disturbance, inner discontent, inner disharmony are floating on the sky of your consciousness. Retreat into your solitary realm. Go into your meditative state. And when the sky is clear once again, come out. They come and go. The sky remains undisturbed, untouched. But you are touched by it, as if the emotional disturbance has created a scar on your inner sky. It cannot create a scar on your consciousness, but it can create a scar on an artificial, an imaginary sky that you have created, and you will carry on and on. Allow this. This is the case with you also. Consciousness remains undisturbed. Thoughts come and go, but you save them into your hard drive. And they keep on coming on their own whenever they are not needed. And there is an exuberance of inner discontent, you call it curse. And you want me to tell you what is curse and how it can be transformed? It is simple mechanism. Nowhere in any scripture it is written. I have not found that anybody has told that a spiritual master that curse is good. Unconscious, any act, any expression is not beneficial for you. It can be transformed. You are a communist, you have a certain mind. You can leave it and you can become anti-communist. Then you have a different mind. Not only different, but it is opposite mind. You can go on changing the minds just as you change your clothes on a day-to-day basis. Just the mind is like your underclothes that you keep on changing and they get, you know what, and you go on changing them. So do not treat your mind like your underclothes and you go on changing it. You may not be aware of it. Those clouds may come and go. Clarity can be achieved if you are aware of the inner sky. If your focus changes, you are focused on the clouds and you are unfocused on the sky. Unfocus on the clouds, be unfocused on the cloud and focus on the sky. Instead of your focus is on clouds of inner discontent, clouds of inner disharmony, inner disturbance, emotional disturbance, not on the sky. My focus, the focus of a Buddha, the focus of an awakened one is on the sky, which is consciousness. Thoughts are clouds that come and go. Emotional exuberance is cloud that come and go. Change your focus from clouds of emotions, clouds of thoughts to the inner sky of consciousness. Only this much for this morning. Next week when we take another sutra, until then take care and do have a pleasant day.